Yeah, what up?
Bass guy, you
Hey,
there?
how's it going?
Oh, good. How you doing,
very
bro? You sound
bassy.
amazing. Yes.
Awesome. You can hear me, yeah?
Yes. Yes. Jack
See me.
Casey, a.k.a. Bass Guy.
Can you see me as well? No?
No, we didn't call you on video, bro.
That's okay. That's cool.
We just did the audio. That's usually what
It's
we
less
do.
work for me then. So,
You don't got to get all dolled up for us, bro.
oh well.
What
I
up?
guess I'll take the dress and high heels off then.
Oh, man, we missed out. What though? How long have you been doing your show, dude? Because you have a lot, right?
Yeah, I think it's like coming up on 5 years or something like that.
We are too, but you are almost at, I think, 1,000 shows, but you do it 3 times a week, correct?
Yeah, 3 times a week. At one point, I did it twice a day for about a year, I think.
Wow. That's a lot,
That's
dude.
dedication.
Yeah.
I guess if you do anything a lot, you're supposed to get good at it or something.
That's, I think, the gist. Did you get good?
I'd like to think so. It's almost like it backfires. The better your show gets, the more people watch, but then the less support comes in. I don't know how to explain it. It's like if your show it looks better, then people are like, oh, we don't want to watch this. We just want to watch someone like in the washroom, talking to their phone.
I agree, dude. There's so many times we've put so much into our YouTube and stuff, and there's some jerk that does a 5-second video on makeup that has 1 million views, and we have interviews. We put everything into this shit, and we have we get good views, but still not I feel what we should get.
I can tell though that you guys are having fun. I watched your show a couple of times. It's awesome.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I've seen yours too. I really appreciate what you do. It's kind of like a one-man show, right?
Yeah, often people come in and it's interactive, so people can write and often people come in and they're like, what the hell is this?
You do have a lot of interaction. I see that. You do you have Frankie on. Is it every week with weather or?
Yeah, he calls in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Wow.
That's when our show's on. He calls
awesome.
in. He actually calls at exactly when my show starts. So if I'm late, it's a train wreck, and Frankie has to call back again. He's never late.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, with us too. Yeah, he's never missed a call.
How many times does he promote himself?
Oh, we just go right into it. I have the bobbleheads. I got the book. I got the action figure. And,
He's a master promoter. He really is a machine when it comes to promoting it all.
Yeah, we went down to Sydney, Nova Scotia, and I met Frankie, and one of the ladies owns a dollar store there forever since Frankie was a little boy, and she was saying that Frankie comes in all the time to check out on his bobblehead sales, and this is 10 years ago when he first started out.
Wow, that's super cool. I was going to ask if you ever met him in real life.
Yeah, he basically was calling on my show. It took me about a year and a half to get him to do the weather on my show, and then when he called in, he's like, "Bass Guy, you are coming to Nova Scotia to my book launch."
He always asks me, I'm like, bro, I'm so far, and I'm broke. If I'm ever up there, we'll definitely hang out, but...
He always specifies, he's like, you and all your fans.
Yeah, exactly. So he just kept repeating it, and I'm broke, and I have a bad back. That's why I started my show. And
I saw that. I saw you said you have a bad back. How did that happen? What was it? An injury?
It just happened. I was at the prime of my life. I was 30 years old, and I was working and jogging, and I just know I was watching your show before, and you were talking about some guy who had a bit of a tub there, a bit of a stomach.
Yeah, Ben Affleck. He's...
All right. Okay. Well, at least I have an excuse. I find it hard to walk. I just had a slipped disc, and it popped out so bad to the point where I couldn't walk for 2 years.
Oh, fuck. I had a teacher in high school who was getting ready for work one day and went to tie a shoe, and his disc slipped. He got stuck in that position. He couldn't even move until somebody
Yeah,
came
you're
and found
like
him.
paralyzed. You're completely paralyzed, and the pain is just like you can't even explain the pain. And I went through that for 7 years, and so I started to do my show instead of giving up everything that I did. I started my show so that I could still play music from home, and it just took off from there. And the support was incredible. The viewers of my show, mostly like. Well, it was everyone from the show. Like about 2 years ago, they got me a car for my birthday.
Wow. Oh my God, that's amazing.
And that's just from doing what you guys are doing, going on the internet and getting into it and having fun and stuff. And I kept doing show after show, and I guess I brought a group of really cool people together. And
that is cool. What did you do before the show, Jack?
I was a bass player. I was a professional musician. I became a teacher at university and college, and I played in bands, and I moved around a lot because of music. So I got to live in a whole bunch of different countries.
What was your favorite country that you lived in?
Hard to say. I really liked Cape Town in South Africa. That was pretty funky.
That's cool. Yeah, that seems like an awesome place. Like this seems like an awesome place to check out. One of our buddies, Tony DeSantis, he'd almost been like, I think he quit acting, and out of the blue, his agent called him and told him he had this like gig in South Africa, and he was like, no, I quit, and they're like, no, you have this gig, you want to do this, and like it just revitalized his acting career.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, the film industry is huge in Cape Town. They have a whole thing. It's like the Hollywood of Africa.
That's
basically.
what I was just going to say. I thought that was the same place he mentioned.
Yeah, they have a lot of white sandy beaches, so they can also film like winter scenes there on the beach.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Super cool.
So, and I got to travel around a lot with the bands, and I played in like embassies all over the world. I'm from Scotland, so I was in a Scottish Ceilidh band.
Wow, I thought you were from Canada.
I grew up in Canada from the age of like 5 to 20, but I spent the other part of my life in Scotland.
Wow.
Did you play the bagpipes?
No, I didn't play the bagpipes, but I played in a band where we had bagpipes. So
What did you do?
we played in a traditional Scottish bands. So we played at all the royals events and weddings, like the richest people in the world, basically.
Oh my God, dude, that's outstanding. That is like
It
lavish.
almost sounds like you're making it up.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
Like
And
royalty.
we ended up playing in like the band was playing in Afghanistan and Kazakhstan. I went to Kazakhstan, and there was one like X-ray machine you had to walk through, and there was 2 dogs humping each other beside it. It was very nice.
That's all they have. That's what everyone goes to see in Kazakhstan. The X-ray
Borat
machine and the
thing.
dogs. Yeah. High five.
What instrument did you play?
I would assume the bass.
Yeah, I played the bass. I played the
that
bass
makes
throughout.
sense.
So I was surprised because I'm just some schmuck with a guitar, and like I like to drink. At the time, I was drinking beer and smoking cigarettes and causing trouble.
Nice.
And then I'm hanging out with like lords and stuff like that. It was really surreal.
I was gonna ask what the craziest thing you've ever seen performing.
While performing, you mean like while actually playing the bass?
Yeah,
at a
while
gig?
actually like live on stage, like what's the craziest thing
Oh
you've ever
yeah,
seen go down?
We played in France in the French Alps. Everybody was snowboarding and skiing, and we were in a funk band. We played like Prince and Santana and all the hits and everything, like Lionel Richie all night long, and people were drinking and dancing. And we finished up our season. We did 7 months straight, like 2 gigs a day for 7 months. And on the last day there was a party, so the band dressed up, and we were having fun and playing. And some guy came up to me. My bass wasn't on me at the time. I was just standing on the stage between a song, and security came up to me and they tased me and knocked me to the floor.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Why?
it was fucking crazy.
Did you ever find out why they did that?
The guy just made a mistake and he got fired after or whatever. And everyone was wasted on toffee vodka.
It sounds like a good time unless you're you. Like it sounds like everyone else was like
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty funky.
Wow.
So we did that, and we got to play in India and Africa and all over the place.
That's amazing.
And then I ran into my back problems.
Yeah.
And I was out of I just lost 5 years of my life, and basically while I was healing, I started to do the internet show from my house, and I was just like, well, I guess I play the bass, and I'm a guy, so.
Oh, that's when you became bass guy. I was gonna ask when you got the title.
Yeah, it just kind of happened, and it's like busking online, and the thing I'm trying to do is it's like you said, a one-person show, so I'm trying to make it look like someone's producing it, but it's just me in my chair. And like I said,
awesome.
sometimes it backfires because it can look smooth or slick or whatever, and so people just want to go, watch the person doing yoga or something instead on the other channel.
Yeah, they're just like, no, this is too unreal now. We wanted to just see you in a chair. We didn't want any of the lights, didn't need.
Didn't need camera angles. I was gonna ask too. It's just amazing. Like that could have ended your career or everything. It could have ended everything, but then you figured out that platform to go on. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned too, camera angles. Don't you have like all these crazy cameras? Don't you have one that's like on a bird feeder the whole time? Like,
yeah, the street cam. I tried to get rid of it a few times, but the people who watch my show love it. They've been watching the same street corner for 5 years.
is that always visible while you're broadcasting? Like, is that like a little section of the window? Like,
Yeah, I've got a web camera. I just use like the what's it called, the 920, the Logitech 920.
Yeah.
It's just a webcam sticking out the window view, and I have a bird feeder so that if people walking by the street ever see my camera, I'll just be like, I'm filming the birds.
that's great. That's great. Have you ever been picked up on a radio station or anything like that?
No, I haven't. That would be awesome, because that's the big struggle. Is I've gotten to this point of like, okay, it's working, but like I just do the show based on tips.
Yeah.
And I don't make a lot. I make like $5 or $10 a show, which helps me buy food and stuff. So I'm grateful for it. But it's like a lot of work. And so like, where do I go next with this? So I don't know what to do next, really. I'm going to figure it out.
Let me know when you figure it out, bro, because we're trying the same, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
And
a
we have
struggle,
Frankie
man.
MacDonald on board. Frankie's like just this social media genius, and everything he does. He put up a picture of 2 seagulls the other day, and it got like 7,000 views.
Wow. He's so much fun. He's amazing. He's the best. Like, I just love it every time we have him on. I love when he's been Skyping in recently, and you could see where he is. Like, he's on that like boardwalk.
Yeah, he was on a
And I
boardwalk.
think like the last time he called, like you could hear people fighting in the background. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, he when I went to meet him, I even saw him once around midnight. He walks everywhere. He walks all around the town, along the docks, around the bars, goes into the bars.
Wow.
The whole entire city knows this guy.
Yes, we've talked to him too, where he's been, I think, at a mall, and people are coming up to him for like autographs or pictures during the interview. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's
It's
where you
super
guys
cool.
are going, to the Mayflower Mall at the end of November.
That's it. Yes.
Oh, we did. We agreed to that.
Yes.
Well, I promised Frankie. Frankie's been calling in my show saying you're on the Robin Slim show, and the reason I'm on this show is because of Frankie MacDonald. And he's saying, yeah, you have to tell Robin Slim that they have to come to, you guys have to go to Sydney, Nova Scotia for his second book launch at the end of November.
Are you driving, Slim? No. Slim said no.
It's a long drive, by
It
the way,
is,
For
yes.
you guys, it's like 20 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say about that. Yeah.
Tell Frankie he's got to fly us out with that
yeah,
Frankie
get
MacDonald
us
money.
get us a couple plane tickets, Frankie.
From all the book sales and everything.
Yeah.
It's out.
The bobbleheads.
I see too, Bass Guy, that you have albums on Bandcamp. Are they all your music?
Yeah, like through the years, I've always been like a bit like disciplined and stuff, and I make my own albums like a lot of musicians do. But I've managed to over the years catalog it all, and I've got like almost 40 albums on the internet.
That's awesome. Is it original content?
Yeah, well, not all of it. There's a lot of covers and stuff, but there's like a lot of originals as well. Cool. And the styles vary from like serious to comedy.
Nice. That's awesome. I was going to ask you, what is your favorite band to cover?
I like everything. That's the problem. I like country western music. I like rap music. I like techno and trap and trance. I like Scottish folk. I basically just take turns with styles. And the one thing I'm not too good at is like whatever is current. I'm not too great at that. Like this week, or this month.
Yeah. I was gonna say too, like I had a buddy that used to make his own like hip hop beats, but he played the bass and he would play the bass line for those beats. I figured that would be probably a cool thing to like pick up, like work with or something, like maybe something like that.
That's mostly what I do. Most of my music is like long form. Like it's easy or whatever. Like I make loops and I sit on the groove and I enjoy myself because no one's paying me millions of dollars to like entertain the world, so I might as well have fun while I'm doing it. So I just pick a groove and relax on it and keep it simple.
That's cool. What did you teach? You said you were a teacher, correct?
Yeah, I was a bass teacher. I taught music. Wow. I worked at a whole bunch of different schools and universities. I ended up becoming a teacher at the school that I went to 10 years later.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really cool. What do you use?
Yeah, it was fun, and I met a lot of cool people. Like I was in a band with the lead singer. He used to hang out with Jimi Hendrix and the Beatles back in the day.
Wow.
He opened up in the cavern for the Beatles, and my father was a musician. He opened up for the Kinks in the 60s.
Wow. Did he play the bass as well?
He played guitar, but he also played bass. So it was my dad that really taught me how to play like bass, drums, harmonica, the blues, and funk and stuff like that. I'm mostly into like anything that's funky, but I do like jazz a lot too.
So he gave you the itch. Your dad is the reason you do what you do? Yeah,
I feature his bass on the show. I got his Telecaster. It's like a 1968 Fender, and I kept the bass, and I still play it. So I still play the same bass. I started on it when I was about 4 years old.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Dude, that is super cool. Super cool.
But I kind of don't fit in anywhere. That's my problem. Like I'm not like a pure like jazz musician. I'm not like a pure like, hey, I'm a bass player. Look at this bass. Like, so like when I'm trying to show my bass stuff to the bass people on Instagram, they kind of like, I'm just the weird guy. Because I'm like filming birds and doing different things and commercials, and I don't like conforming. So I'm doing something I think that's a little bit different and new.
But do they look down on you? Like they're like, you're not a pure bass guy.
It's more like I guess like I hate the word, but I'm like an artist.
Yeah. Man.
Bass guy, you're an artist, not a bassist.
Yeah. Get out of here with your fancy camera angles.
I don't want to see them birds.
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you use, bass guy? Doing your show, do you have an actual like radio board?
Yeah, it's all stuff like it's 90% stuff that was kind of found secondhand or given to me. It's a total MacGyver makeshift. Like I have an amplifier from the 70s. I have a mixing desk that someone gave me. I have a Korg piano from like 1989. And I like tape my wires together, and a budget of like nothing.
That's amazing. But like you said, like stuff from the 70s, don't knock it, because dude, my dad has like a component stereo from like the 70s, and it's still like the craziest sound you'll ever hear. Like even playing
they
CD
built
on
stuff back then with like tubes and steel and bolts.
Yeah, bro. The speakers are like fucking 5 feet high, bro. Like they're huge. Like they're amazing.
I joke about it often on my show. I say like, okay, like I'm talking to millennials or whatever, and I'm like, in the old days we had things called instruments that musicians would play, and we had stereos that had left channel and right channel.
Yes. Oh my God.
But I'm turning into an old man that complains too much, so.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, you said you used to play for like royalty. Did you ever party with royalty?
Yes, like and as a game, I eventually I didn't enjoy it too much after a while, because like I have that problem with the divide. Like I lived in Cape Town, and there's always this divide of super rich and super poor. Right. So I'm just like this poor guy, and I get to hang out with all these royals and party with them. And there was booze and drinking and late nights and 2-day parties. And I was playing a game with myself. I was trying to get kicked out of the band, and no matter what I did, I didn't get kicked out.
Man, I was gonna say, did you ever throw a punch at one of like the royals?
No, nothing like that. But like, you know, I remember once. No, I shouldn't say, but who cares? I think I was playing a song and I was singing like, you know, we're going to get the rich people or some crap. I forget what I was singing, but I was like an anti-rich, like there's nothing wrong with being rich. But at the time I was like protesting like the monarchy, you know, like the British monarchy and the whole royal thing. And I was singing songs anyways. And I used to make videos, and the band leader, one of my best friends, he's like, you know, he's like, Jack, that's my real name. He's like, you know, get your shit together, stop being a dick, and like, you know, these people are paying you, so
just have some respect, dude. That's what I was gonna say. Like, yeah, that's crazy. You were trying your hardest, and you just couldn't get fired.
Well, because sometimes I do a gig and no one told me what the gig was. I just showed up at the address. It's kind of like Eyes Wide Shut. I just show up at the address and it's a fox hunting gig, and they're all celebrating killing foxes. So I was like, fuck you and killing your foxes, you know, like I'm just going to get drunk and like play one note.
They were like, we love this guy.
This guy is the best. We're bringing him back.
So that's
for the next fox hunt.
The only time I made it to my face made it to like a major publication magazine in Britain. And the only time I've ever been in a magazine was for a fox hunting gig.
That's bad press. Bass guy.
Yeah, so,
and that's not something you're okay with. So it's like you're getting associated with something you're against.
Yeah,
I love animals and nature and save the whales and all that stuff. And all my friends are into the environment and everything. So it was kind of, I felt like a schmuck for doing the gig.
Yeah.
People who saw you in that magazine were like, nice going, fox killer.
But I was just trying to make money to pay my rent. So.
Yes, exactly.
What I just want to know, like, royals when they party, is it like crazy or is it like snotty, stuffy. Like stuffy, like wine tasting party? Like what?
Yeah. No, the guy next to me told me like sometimes they always let the band sit at the dinner table with the main guests. I don't know why. And we're sitting next to a guy, and like me and my other friend was from Glasgow, like pure like, all right mate, how you doing? Hi. And we're sitting next to this guy, and he's like, yes, I own some land in Africa. Do you own any land?
Oh,
so it's like conversations like that.
I own the space and a pack of cigarettes.
So it's like, basically the conversations are whose dick is bigger.
Yeah. Swinging his big dick around. Exactly. Wow.
And once we were at like a castle, like literally a castle in Scotland. And there was this English family, and they're like, yes, this is our summer cottage. Our main home is down in London.
Wow. I'd be taking a shit on the balcony, dude.
But I got to say, though, that like also there were some, in a weird way, some of them were like some of the nicest, smartest people in the world. And I'm not shitting on them. It's just the way the world turned out. It was history. There used to be wars and stuff and landlords, and it's all fizzling out now. So.
Nice, dude. Nice. Bass guy, it's gone so quick, but thank you for talking to us, dude. It's been amazing.
No, thank you. You guys are awesome. I really like how you're relaxed and you just talk and have a beer and chill out. And, you know, Frankie MacDonald brought us together, and really consider going out there. See if you guys can get yourself a plane ticket. You'd make history.
I would love to. If possible. Where can everybody find you?
I'm basically on bassguyshow.com.
Awesome, dude. Thank you
so much. Everything is on there. I'm on all the Instagram and Twitter and everything at bassguyshow. But if you go to bassguyshow.com, you can figure everything out there that you need to know about my silly little show.
Awesome. I was gonna ask too. Do you ever teach bass online?
I tried it once and it didn't really work, but sometimes on my show, like I'll give like a little lesson or something.
That's cool. Thank you, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Cheers. And you guys can call into my show anytime. It's live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.
Okay. Thanks, Rob and Slim.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
Have a
Bass
good
guy.
one. Cool.